Soaring prices, product shortages, and a new wave of COVID cases, all forcing Americans to drastically cut back on what they were used to having. Retail sales plunging 1.9% in December, the biggest drop in 10 months. Here now is Steve Forbes, Forbes Media Chairman. Steve, good to see you. Are we heading towards stagflation, Steve?
That is a very real question, David, and this administration, if it wants to avoid that, must do two big things. One is stop throwing up roadblocks to the economy, stop waging war on commerce, stop the war against oil and gas, stop these crazy regulatory appointments that want to upend industries from banking to agriculture. On the Federal Reserve side, stop printing all that money each month and start running down that $1.5 trillion that they've created, that they have ready to break into the economy next year, that they've kept out so far. And so a stable dollar, a benign government, and you would start to see this economy in a healthy way recover.
Now, even some Democrats are beginning to warn that this year is going to be even worse for inflation than last year was. Jason Furman, who was with the Obama White House, he was one of the chief economists, he said, expect the economy, this is in today's Wall Street Journal, expect the economy to experience elevated inflation this year, possibly even higher than in 2021. And yet, the day that these CPI numbers came out this week, I believe it was on Wednesday, showing an acceleration of inflation, the president said exactly the opposite, that inflation was coming down.
Well, on that, you remember a few weeks ago, the administration spokespeople said, oh, rising prices means good things. People are buying more. It's from demand. Yes, it's from demand, having not sufficient product and too much cash out there. That's a part of the inflation problem. And so these people have got to realize they've got to make changes for our own sake. And it also has international implications. A weak America, David, is whetting the appetite of people like Putin, Xi, and the mullahs in Iran.
Absolutely. And, you know, the signs are not good, by the way. It wasn't just the CPI that came out on Wednesday. We also this week had wholesale prices seen an annual increase of 9.7%. We are close to double-digit inflation on wholesale prices. And, of course, that's eventually passed on to the retailers and to the consumers. So we may already be in for double-digit inflation.
And we've got another problem coming. The Federal Reserve says they're not going to be buying bonds anymore in March or April. Who's going to buy federal debt, which is going to run over $1.5 trillion next year? So that's going to mean higher interest rates, which is going to mean higher mortgage rates. People are already starting to do more credit card debt. It went down sharply during the lockdowns, but that's starting to move up. And so if people start to get higher monthly mortgage payments because they're all on floating mortgages, that's going to be a downer on the economy, too. Yeah. So it's clear these are all government inflicted. The American people are healthy. The government is not.
Well, you were talking about the Fed. Speaking of the Fed, we have a new nominee from the president, a woman named Sarah Raskin. She would be the Fed's top banking regulator. Now, she is one of these woke central bankers who believe that somehow monetary stability has to take a backseat to things like climate change. What do you make of that?
Well, this is all part of modern socialism, using the levers of the government. You don't have to buy these companies. You can control whole industries by those kind of policies. You tell bankers, why are you hurting the climate by making loans to wildcatters and things like that? So it's all about government control. And that's why these nominations, they keep coming. If this administration, again, was serious, they wouldn't nominate these kind of people. But even though a couple of them have already gone down in flames, they keep them on the assembly line, whether it's antitrust, FTC, right, FCC, SCC, everywhere.
And again, you have Democrats, moderate Democrats. There are a few left who are speaking out against it. Larry Summers, who was a Treasury Secretary during the Clinton administration, spoke out against this kind of woke central bankism. Let me just play that soundbite and get your reaction.
We have a generation of central bankers who are defining themselves by their wokeness. They're defining themselves as by how socially concerned they are. They're defining themselves by how concerned they are about the environment. They're defining themselves by how concerned they are about financial excess and business ethics.
Now, that used to be basically where Joe Biden was. Joe Biden was a kind of a Larry Summers Democrat in terms of his belief in economic policy. He's pivoted way far to the left, to the socialist left, even further left than Bernie Sanders in some cases. And I'm just wondering how it would be possible. You keep talking about they've got to get back to the center. I don't know how you make that pivot. Do you?
Well, he could do it. Bill Clinton did it in the mid-1990s, and Joe Biden could do it now. One, stop making those crazy nominations. Pull off these crazy bills like the voting rights bill, so-called, which would be the opposite, corrupt our elections. Take that off the table and make it clear there's a new direction. Bring in new personnel. That would be a way to do it. But the thing is, he's probably inside, David, always been a far leftist, and just has now had an opportunity to show it.
Well, you mentioned Bill Clinton, and Bill Clinton was a consummate politician. He was also at the top of his game when he was president. This president is not at the top of the game. We have to be honest about that. And it's less and less so as the days and the weeks go by. I just wonder where that leaves us a year from now. I mean, granted, a year from now, we will have had the midterm elections. So possibly the Senate and the House will be taken over by Republicans and nothing will be done. Maybe that's the best that we can look forward to is gridlock.
Well, if they take the message from it, as Bill Clinton did in 1994, and sort of in a way by sleight of hand, Houdini-like Barack Obama did after 2010. Not much, but somewhat to get reelected. And so we'll see if he can do it. But the fact that they're floating Hillary Clinton as a candidate in 2024, you know, my candidate would be Jimmy Carter. Why don't you bring back the real thing? First centennial president.
Right. God bless him, Jimmy Carter. What about, Larry Kudlow has floated this idea. The only Democrat who is winning is who? Joe Manchin.
Joe Manchin.
The only Democrat who's winning is Joe Manchin. Why not pivot towards Joe Manchin? I mean, do the Democrats have the gumption or the reality check to realize that Joe Manchin would have a much better chance of being reelected or being elected president than Joe Biden would of getting reelected?
Well, I think the key thing is the elections coming up in November. If the Democrats do get a shellacking, that is a wake-up call. That clears the air. The far left is not working. And a lot of Democrats who want to keep their jobs are going to say, we have to make that pivot.
Yeah.
How they do it, we'll see. But they need a real beating in the elections. Not what we had in Virginia, very nice, got to be nationwide. That's the best hope to reform the Democratic Party.
Well, since they won't have the new voting law, they probably will get the shellacking. With the new voting law, I was worried that might pass. Then anything would go. But there's no question that there's going to be something to pay for what this nation has now become.
Things have gotten so bad, as they used to say in Chicago when an election went against them, that even the dead voted Republican.
Steve Forbes, with that, we got to leave it. Have a good weekend, Steve. I appreciate it.
Thank you.